Yes, at first at 4, I'm Jacob Bresco. And Elita, we have something real at the end of the forecast.
We do.
I'm jumping all the way there.
We do. But we get a little preview. It's not quite as cold as late next week, but we get a little chill in the air coming up here by the end of the week. So a little teaser for those of you that are already looking forward to seeing that 10-day. We're going to make you wait for it for a little bit longer. We've got our current conditions, and this morning, definitely some stark changes from what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, we saw some widespread low ceiling of clouds and fog. This morning, we've got a little pocket down south and west of the Houston area. Down toward Victoria is where we've got a little bit of fog setting up, and that fog is going to remain at least during the morning hours. As we take you through the day, we're anticipating that temperature readings this morning are going to start off fairly chilly, and then looking ahead, those temperature readings will be warming. Near zero visibility right now toward Victoria. A dense fog advisory is in effect for some of these counties south and west of town until 9 o'clock this morning. This morning, we've got mostly clear start to the morning, not much in the way of cloud cover, as the frontal boundary that drew in some of the low ceiling of clouds yesterday has cleared the coastline. It's well offshore, and we've got some cooler air filtering in. So we've got a nice change in the temperatures, running about 9 degrees cooler in Huntsville this morning. Temperatures there generally in the mid-50s. We've got 50s and 60s on the map, even Galveston getting in on those 60-degree readings. Any sort of low ceiling of clouds this morning will quickly lift, and by this afternoon, plenty of sunshine for you. Temperature readings will warm somewhere in the mid to upper 70s later this afternoon, and then by 3 o'clock or so, temperature readings will be warming into the low 80s. We'll talk about that next cold front. We may see some 40s in here before the weekend. I'll time it out for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Elita, thank you. November said no one ever. I feel validated by this map of yours.
Yeah, kind of a report card I quickly want to give you over the last 11 days. Unfortunately, so far for the month of November, you can see we've been well above normal. Typically this time of the year, we should see a lot of our highs somewhere in the low to mid 70s. We have not seen that. Even our overnight lows have not been cooling all that much. Our overnight lows have also been above normal to start off the month, but there are signs for some change. We'll get a little change coming in by the middle of the week. We've got a cool front penciled in on Wednesday. You can see that the drop that we'll see behind the front will be most noticeable first thing Friday morning, with temperature readings projected to dip somewhere in the mid to upper 40s, some mid 70s. Not the first time this season. We got a little taste of this fall chill mid-October, but it gets even colder next week as a true cold front. The first one is going to be a Pacific front, but then we could get a little bit of a Canadian connection with some colder air diving in from the north, and I'll show you that. So that's going to send temperature readings plummeting. Of course, we're hopeful that we can continue to verify this forecast, but the changes will occur after the weekend. As we get into early next week, we're going to see this big dome of high pressure that's going to be wobbling across the Gulf over the next several days, finally beginning to shift, and you can see the big arc in the jet stream pattern. The jet stream winds dipping south enough where it's going to allow this colder pocket of air originating from Canada to dive southward, and that's going to make its way not just over the Four Corners region, but also here across the Lone Star State. So giving you a little something to look forward to as we continue through middle part to latter half of next week. For now, temperature readings are actually running a little bit cooler this morning. Not a bad way to start off your Tuesday morning. Some of you headed back to work today following the Veterans Day holiday. Some of you having that off. There is a northeasterly breeze. That's a nice dry and even a cool wind for us this morning. Upper 60s down along the island. And right now with some drier air that's been blowing in on that wind flow, we're not seeing a lot of fog. Those of you on the southwest side where that drier air has not quite made it in your neighborhood, we've got some patches of dense fog this morning, so we'll continue to watch that as that drier air continues to scour out some of that lower ceiling. Otherwise, here's a quick peek at temperatures. Not bad, maybe even jacket worthy this morning. I know I was okay this morning, but some of you may be waking up to temperature readings in the low to mid 50s, may need to reach for a light sweater. Otherwise, this afternoon, forget about the layers. You're not going to need them. Lots of sunshine today, and that dry wind is going to warm temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. Tomorrow morning, not bad. Equally as nice, I think, very pleasant with the wind still coming in from the north and east. We will start to see a little bit of change by the middle of the week. I think as we get into Wednesday morning, we'll see mostly clear skies for the most part, but notice what's happening off to the east. If you're planning on traveling overnight Tuesday or even Wednesday morning towards southwest Louisiana, into portions of Louisiana, remnants of Raphael will be bringing another round of showers and thunderstorms there. Meanwhile, for us, we await a frontal boundary that doesn't have a lot of moisture to work with, and so this is going to be mostly dry as it passes through. There could be a few scattered clouds that decorate our skyline. Otherwise, looking for a mostly dry Wednesday, and then you can see the winds behind this front. That's going to draw in another burst of cooler temperatures. By Thursday morning, we'll be waking up to temperature readings in the low to mid 60s, but by Friday morning, there are those 40s that I mentioned. We're talking mid to upper 40s from Conroe up toward Livingston. Even here along the I-10 corridor, we'll be experiencing some 40s closer to the coastline in the 50s and 60s there. The weekend, I know yesterday we had a slight chance for some wet weather over the weekend. It looks like we should stay mostly dry. The wind coming in from the south and east should be a warmer, slightly more humid breeze, but it's really next week where things start to turn more active as we await that stronger cold front that brings us that bigger cool down. By next Thursday, we may manage to only warm into the 60s, which would make it some of our coldest air so far this season.
Wow, yes, that's what we've been waiting for. Now we hope that it gets there. Sometimes it doesn't. Thank you, Elita.